Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Smart HVAC Marketing Podcast. My name is Eric Thomas and I am the host of the show. This podcast is powered by Rival Digital. We are a full service digital marketing agency for HVAC contractors. We offer website design, online advertising, SEO, social media, and more. So if you're an HVAC contractor and you are in need of upping your marketing for the 2021 year, contact us today. Today, we are joined by a very special guest. This is not a typical episode with a contractor. We're actually joined by Will Housh today from Contractor Commerce. Will, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Will, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for the listeners and tell us a little bit more about Contractor Commerce?
Great. Yep, sounds good. My name is Will Housh, and I'm the founder and CEO of Contractor Commerce. Actually, you get the best of both worlds because I was a contractor. And now I'm in a, same industry, but doing it in a different way. So I grew up as the third generation in a family HVAC and plumbing contracting business in the Ohio, kind of Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio area. So was fortunate to experience the industry and kind of different aspects, but eventually bought the business from my dad and owned and operated it for several years. So we did commercial and residential service and new construction kind of all across the board. But back in 2006, I decided to get into e-commerce and started experimenting with selling furnace filters and other parts and supplies online, and eventually got that to the point where I exited traditional contracting back in 2012 to focus on e-commerce 100%. So it's been a fun journey, and along the way have learned so much, and I'm looking forward to kind of talking some of that through with you. But now Contractor Commerce. So for the last couple of years, we've really been looking at the trades and the direction that that consumer shopping behavior is going. I think we all can see that online shopping is just exploding in pretty much every industry. Everybody buys products and services online from their phone or whatever device. But for us, we looked around and observed that basically in the trades that didn't exist. Contractors just don't have online stores. Things are very traditional. People pick up the phone. Maybe there's live chat, but no way to transact on a contractor's website. So that's what we do. We have a plug and play online store technology that we offer to the trades, so contractors can have that same kind of convenient service for their customers.
Yeah. So 2006 was kind of, if I remember correctly, kind of the beginning of e-commerce. I remember that's kind of like at the dawn of e-commerce. So you've been in the e-commerce world since pretty much its conception.
I mean, you see all this gray hair right here. Yeah, I mean, that was back in the era where Amazon was just starting to like move out of books and CDs and expand into these other categories. And I'm glad that we got in early, and certainly kind of had to figure a lot of things out as we went along, but it's been a great journey so far.
Yeah. So when you first started selling filters and stuff online for your HVAC contracting business, how successful was that?
I mean, the first couple of years, it was not successful. It was just a lot of learning, which I guess in its own way is a success. Figuring out how to build a website and how to merchandise products online, and pricing and shipping and search engine optimization and email marketing and packaging and on and on and on. I mean, it was a lot. It was probably in year 3 when we started to kind of figure out a few of the key pieces, and we started to ramp. And from there, it's been quite a growth journey.
Yeah. And so when that first came out, I mean, obviously drop shipping wasn't a thing in 2006 or even before that. Were you taking these online orders and then going to Home Depot or wherever you got your filters from, purchasing the filter and then taking it to the customer's house, or were you shipping it to them?
It was always shipping from the beginning.
Okay.
And it was a national type approach. So the idea was promote the the store nationally and run pay-per-click ads and other ways to get people to it, and then pack and ship the orders. And coming from the industry, and I was fortunate to start with some existing supplier relationships, and then also built out the catalog and built other relationships with manufacturers and distributors to offer as many products as possible.
Yeah. And so now with Contractor Commerce, because I mean, obviously the e-commerce world has gone crazy, and the world is your oyster when it comes to selling online now. You can pretty much do it anywhere. What's something that like contractors need to know about, or how it works?
Well, I think starting with the big picture, and I alluded to this earlier, but contractors need to just accept and know that everybody buys everything online already, and it's only going to grow. Like if you ask yourself 5 years from now, are more or less people going to be purchasing online? What's the answer? Like
Definitely more.
more, right?
Mhm.
Everybody it knows that it's a fact waiting to happen. So if that's the case, the other thing you got to know is it's it is in the trades already, and it's coming strong. So gone are the days of maybe a couple years ago where it was debatable, where contractors could kind of say, nah, you know, we're HVAC guys, we're plumbing guys. That's not going to affect our industry. That's for the tech companies and the dot coms, but our customers are still going to pick up the phone and call us. I mean, yes, they'll still call you, but that's consumer behaviors, and COVID and everything that we've experienced in our world in the last year and a half have just accelerated the trend. So I think contractors should know that it's here and that it's coming, and it's not something to be feared. It's not something to be resisted. It's something to be embraced. It's something that you can harness to grow your business and to
Yeah.
differentiate from the competition.
So what all are they able to sell with Contractor Commerce beyond just air filters? Are they able to quote out estimates for system replacements, or for units and air scrubbers and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so our philosophy has been well beyond just furnace filters. The idea is, um, if we all believe and agree that e-commerce is only going to continue to grow, and that there's a future ahead of us 5 or 10 years from now where basically it'll be table stakes that a contractor will have this sort of online shopping experience on their website, then it needs to be a full featured experience. It needs to let the contractor be in charge of products and services that they want to sell. And so, yes, it's way beyond just drop ship furnace filters. We have folks that are having a lot of success selling maintenance agreements, tune ups, duct cleanings, other kind of services that they flat rate price and promote and sell on their website. And then also the ability for the customer to walk through an online questionnaire, answer a few simple questions about their home and about their situation, and be presented with a kind of a good, better, best system quote, and let the consumer do the shopping, and get an idea on budget range, and even go as far as placing an order for a fully installed HVAC or plumbing system.
Hmm. So that's kind of how the front end works for the customer. How does it really work on the back end for contractors in regards to getting it on their website?
Yeah, so super quick and easy, actually. Uh, Maybe years ago, the process of getting an online store, back when I got started, certainly, it was a lot of heavy lifting. It was coding. It was days and days of figuring out and configuring. With what we've built now, it's plug and play. So, you're talking about 10 or 15 minutes to implement on the website and make sure that it's kind of up and running and looking good. And then there's some behind the scenes configuration to set pricing and markups, and um, customize the services that people want to sell. But you're talking about minutes, not days, which is amazing, because you can have it now. You don't have to shell out tens of thousands of dollars and wait 6 months or 12 months for someone to build something for you. You can be in the game right away and take advantage of the momentum and the growth in e-commerce.
Yeah. So what have some of the success stories looked like for contractors who are using your tool?
Yeah, I mean, we're working with hundreds of contractors now across the country and growing pretty quickly, which has been really exciting. And we work with some of the largest enterprises in the industry that have many locations, down to single locations, even one guy in a truck, just starting up and just kind of getting his business off the ground and everything in between. We have folks that are selling you know, tens of thousands of dollars a month. And we have folks that maybe, make a sale here and there. It kind of depends on it depends on how you use it, right? So if you put an online store on your website, you can have the greatest website in the world, but if no one ever sees it and you don't drive traffic to it or optimize it, it's not doing your company any good. And that the same idea goes for having an online store. So just putting an online store on your company website is not going to make sales just kind of rain down from the sky.
Mhm.
You get out of it what you put into it. So if you show it to your customers, if you market it, if you send out emails or social media, talk about it on social media, if you train your technicians to make it a part of their visit with the customer and say, hey, Mrs. Smith, while I'm here, let's go ahead and get you set up for auto delivery and have your filter show up on a schedule. If your team is using it, the success stories are significant, and we have folks all over the country that are, not just filters, maintenance agreements. We have companies that are selling hundreds of maintenance agreements, um, and so it's an exciting time. It's still early innings overall for the industry adopting e-commerce, but so far so good.
Wow, this is actually this seems really cool. This sounds like a tool that I think more contractors should definitely use because from what I've found, I mean, if the customer is able to go and figure out all of the quotes themselves, when you get that call from the customer, they're probably already ready to sell, ready to buy. I mean, they're already down here at the bottom of the funnel. They don't have to fill out a form and wait for a call back and then go through an estimate. I mean, they're getting that all themselves, which really fulfills the customer's need of that instant gratification of how much does this cost or how long is it going to take for me to get this or pay for it or sign up for it, and it empowers them to be able to make that decision.
Yeah, I agree. Customers want to buy, they don't want to be sold, right?
Yeah.
So we have folks, whether the customer's coming to your website and they're gathering information, it's not everybody's doing online research nowadays ahead of time anyway. So for them to be able to do it on your website and for you to control the message and for you to control the pricing and the information that they're taking in ahead of time is great. We have companies that are using this as a kitchen table selling tool, right? So you can pop open the iPad or the laptop with the customer, take them to your website, and say, let's answer a few questions together and let's see what the system options are for you. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of different ways that we're seeing it used now for the system sales piece. And you're right, the customer feels less pressure. It feels like a more trusted experience when the pricing's already online. The price is the price for everybody, right? Nothing feels kind of behind the curtain. Um, yeah.
Hmm. And so with like when you're selling, obviously with like maintenance plans and some of those like services, you have a like a flat rate for. But when it comes to selling things like ducts and or not ducts, like filters, do you see contractors using it as a way to make money off of it, or is it just kind of a way to offer it as a convenience for the customer?
I think it's a balance. So we see it's different philosophies for different contractors. Some get very aggressive and try to, they make almost no profit margin on the filter side or maybe even the maintenance agreement side so that they can grow their customer base and have their brand in front of as many customers as possible so that when it does come time for those folks to get a quote on a new system, they think of your company first, right?
Yeah.
Um, some people are a little bit on the other end of the spectrum where they really, they're trying to get as much profit out of the filters, for example, as they can, whatever their market can bear. But you just have to remember you're up against Amazon. right? You're up against Home Depot, you're up against other online players. So gone are the days where your customers are only comparing you to other contractors in your local market. Now you're being compared with national players that have a very different business model. So there's sort of a built-in cap on really how much you can, how you can price online. But that's okay, because really my philosophy, and having been a contractor, I think we all know the real money in this business, especially residential HVAC, is system replacement. So you want to stack up a huge, loyal, recurring customer base, so that you get lots of opportunities to put in new systems.
Yeah. So I'm sorry I keep talking about the filters, but I think the filters really like the only tangible product I could think of that off the top of my head that someone would go and buy and have shipped to their house. So with the filters, when the customer buys it off of the company's website, where does it ship from? Like, do you all have all of those sources already set up, or does the contractor have to go and find a wholesaler who will ship it for them?
We've got it all set up because we've been in the e-commerce game for 16 years. So we stock the products ourselves in our own warehouses in Ohio and
Mhm.
Utah. Same day shipping, 7 days a week.
Wow.
1 to 2 business day delivery, coast to coast. So it's basically like having Amazon Prime, but for your customers on your website.
Wow.
And it's not just filters. There's humidifier water panels, there's UV bulbs. Contractors can add their own products to their own catalog if they want to sell thermostats or HEPA filtration units or
Yeah.
air purifiers, or anything. It's their store. And again, going back to the philosophy that at the end of the day, we give great technology, we have a dropship catalog, we can help get everything set up, and then from there, it future proofs your business, because you have a platform that you can use and adapt as things evolve and as new products or services come along that you want to sell.
Yeah. Now, I was just about to ask if there were contractors out there who would have things like thermostats or like you said, like something that not a system or ductwork, but something that they could possibly install themselves, but they could have it shipped to their house and then the contractor come put it in for them.
Yes, you can do that. You can sell it and ship it. You can sell it and deliver it in your local market on the back of your truck. You can sell it and offer it for will call pickup at your parts counter. Um,
Wow,
it's very, very flexible in that way.
that's cool. So another question that's come to mind in regard to like advertising. So when you think about Google Ads and in the home services industry, you get pretty much everyone's running the Google local services ads, and then they're running search ads, and then maybe some type of display ads. If they have this store set up and they're selling products on it, have you seen contractors running like shopping ads? So if someone is searching for air filter store near me or whatever it may be, that they'll actually get a shopping ad from the contractor's website.
I was just talking with a contractor about this. I think it was last week, and um, we're just starting to see some contractors in our network think that way about Google Shopping and enhancing their local kind of listing pages. So we don't have data yet on how well that's going to go. We have seen people run pay per click, text
Mhm.
ad campaigns. We have email marketing to your existing customer base is the easy, low cost, high ROI
Mhm.
first step from a marketing standpoint, is to promote the store, online store grand opening. Use this coupon code and save 10% on your first order. Segmenting your customer base, so that you have an email list for your non-maintenance agreement customers versus the ones that do have a contract, and then doing email marketing to your non-maintenance agreement customers and offer them a promotion to buy their maintenance agreement on your website. We see that. Folks putting, furnace stickers with QR codes where the customer can just scan it with their phone and it takes the customer straight to the online store to purchase a replacement filter. Um, little brochures or leave behinds that the technicians will put on the counter when they're in the home, or fridge magnets, all kinds of different. Even we had a contractor, and I think it was Wisconsin area, that did a huge postcard, direct mail blast, to get things up and off the ground when they launched their store. So, um, it kind of runs the gamut, but I do think that you're onto something with the Google Shopping, Google Listing idea. I think that's coming.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where if you can get to it first, like if you're the only contractor in your area and you're selling the only contractor in your area selling products and services on your website, beyond just requesting a quote, uh, and you run those shopping ads, I mean, the competition is probably be next to none right now,
Yes.
which could be a huge win for a contractor, especially if you get the people who are price shopping and they want to know how much a water heater costs or how much um, a condenser unit costs or how much a furnace costs. And then you're on your website pretty much getting exactly what they're looking for.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's key to reiterate too, as you're talking about a water heater or a condensing unit, that um, when we're getting into the system side, the equipment side, this is driving leads and taking orders for fully installed systems, right? So in the
Yeah.
past, and we all know the problems that have been created by some companies that are just selling equipment online and shipping it straight to the consumer. That is very disruptive, and that, I think, is part of the reason why contractors sort of, for a long time, had a built-in resistance to the idea of e-commerce in general, because it felt like it was really flipping the business model upside down, and making the contractor kind of head toward a labor only provider if the customer can source equipment directly themselves. With what we're doing, we're all about empowering the contractor and giving them the tools on their own website so that they can compete in this new online world that we're living in. So the contractor can keep the entire sale, the labor, the materials, provide a warranty, accessories in one bundle, just the way they've always sold, at the kitchen table, except now they can do that through their website.
Yeah. So if a contractor was interested in learning more or like getting started, what's the first step that they would need to take?
Yeah, I mean, just go to contractorcommerce.com and click the button to sign up for a demo. Pretty easy. We can take a half hour on a Zoom call and get to know each other, show you examples of folks we're working with, and explain how it all works, answer questions. And getting up and running, like I mentioned earlier, is quick and easy too. We're talking, like I said, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, and you have an online store.
Wow. So I assume that you all have like an implementation team that'll actually help them get it all set up on their website and stuff too, right?
We do. Yeah, we walk them through the whole process, start to finish, and then provide training and ongoing support. We're a team, and we've built a business model where we aligned our success with the contractor's success. So we make a little bit of money every time the contractor makes a sale. We set it up that way, very intentionally, because we want to provide a lot of value. We want to have long-term win-win relationships with our customers. And so you'll find that, we really are a team. We're on the same side of the table working together to make it succeed.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Will, is there anything else that you would like to mention or promote or anything while we got you on the show?
I don't think so, Eric. I really appreciate you having me on. I've enjoyed our time, and I think as this is great for contractors to just raise awareness and understanding and think a little bit differently about their business. It's easy to get stuck in just the day-to-day grind of just doing the next thing, and next thing you know, you look up and it's been 2 or 3 years and you're still doing things the same way. So I
Yeah.
think I think moments like this, when folks take the time to check out a podcast like yours and just like work on their business a little bit, and think about the future, and then realize that the technology is here to make that sort of a shift pretty easy. very cost effective, and you set yourself up for success for a long time to come. So
Yeah. Awesome. Well, if you're an HVAC contractor and you're listening to this right now, looking for new ways to take your business to the next level, check out contractorcommerce.com. Uh, this is an awesome tool. I think it's really going to, I think this will be one of the tools that you see in 5 years from now. Everyone's like on it, and it's going to become one of the tools where it's like, if you're not using it, then you're just going to fall behind. So this is great. And Will, I appreciate you taking the time out of your morning to be on the show with me.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right. Take care.
All righty. Bye-bye.